Here we go. Okay, we are recording. Let me go ahead and open us up in a prayer. Oh, Lord, you know the crazy in my life, you know the crazy in all of our lives, and I just thank you for a moment to come together, first time in about a month for all of us, and I just pray that you would bless this call. I pray that you would help Megan to share with us from her heart and just give us a bit of inspiration that we all need tonight. Bless this hour together and bless the rest of our week as we continue trying to do your work through all of our different outlets and especially through the work that we do with our businesses. I lift this up in your name. Amen. Okay, so tonight the wonderful Megan Peters is going to kind of be doing a Q&A session with me tonight. She has been, was I correct, Megan? It's been almost 3 years, or it has been 3 years?
It was 3 years in June.
Okay, yep, so 3 years. She is a diamond, one-star diamond coach. She has been a part of our team and a leader in our downline, in my downline for quite a while now. She has a pretty awesome team underneath her. The most sweet and funny girls. And I am just excited to hear from her tonight because she has had quite a year. This past year has been really challenging for her. And a lot of different things have happened, but she is still here and she's still doing her best as she can on a daily basis. And she is an inspiration to so many people, myself included. As I've been going through a crazy time, I watch her posts and I'm just inspired constantly. So I'm just excited to hear from you tonight, and we'll go ahead and dive in, okay?
Sounds good.
Okay, so just a little background for us. Can you tell us what life looked like for you prior to jumping in 3 years ago?
Yes. So I have struggled with weight all of my life. I know there's some other girls on here that have PCOS as well. I've never liked using that as like my excuse, but like talking about it because it really is a challenge. It honestly really does make things that much harder for you. But before, I guess I never had that in my mind, and I always thought, oh, you're just that. And it seemed like anytime there was stress or depression in my life, my weight would skyrocket. After I had dropped out of college, I went from 126 pounds in high school to about 240. I think when my first marriage, I was about 244 pounds when I got married. So I gained that weight when I dropped out of college. I got super depressed, and I gained it in a year. Then I was married for about 4 years, wanted to get pregnant. So it was Weight Watchers. It worked for me then. I lost about 90 pounds before we got pregnant with McKenna, and I piled on 80 pounds when I got pregnant with her. So fast forward, had lost all that weight, got pregnant again, gained another 80 pounds. So every time I've been pregnant, I would always gain 80 pounds. The only time that I dropped a ton of weight was when I got divorced. I lost a lot of weight doing that, but that was not the healthy way. That was, I wasn't eating at all. I really have always been into working out though. Actually, I remembered I did P90X after I had Braylon. So that was probably my first Beachbody workout. That was right before they had Shakeology. I knew nothing about Beachbody. I literally ordered it off an infomercial and I did it, and that was it. I never looked into Beachbody or anything after that. So it's kind of funny that it kind of came back around several years later. So after I had divorced my husband, I packed up the girls. We moved to Kansas, and I put myself through school. During that time, I was being fit-ish, I like to call it. I worked out constantly. I did workout videos. I ran constantly, and I talked about this in a post the other day. I ate Smart Ones. Like, that's what I thought was healthy, was eating salads and frozen meals. I also did drink a shake. I was thinking about this the other day. It was some GNC lean protein stuff with a blue lid. I would be scared now to think what would even be in that stuff if I was to go look at it. But I thought it was good for me. So anyway, that's kind of where I've always been before Beachbody. Every time I get pregnant, I would gain a ton of weight. So Bexley, I got married. Bexley was my third baby, or not Bexley, Kinsley. See, I have too many kids. I can't even keep it straight. Kinsley, and gained about 80 pounds, 78, 80 pounds with her as well. And then girl that I went to physical therapy school with, she contacted me about the 21-day fix. I'd heard my cousin talking about it, and I'm like, sure, whatever, I'll try it. I've done everything else, so I might as well give the 21-day fix challenge a challenge. So that first 21 days, I had lost 14 pounds, 14 inches, and I was, so that was June. And let's see, Kinsley would have been, I don't know, about 2.5 months, something like that. And so then after that, I did 2 more rounds of 21-day fix. I did PiYo, Body Beast, you name it, I did it. And I lost 100 pounds in that year without eating Smart Ones or drinking some crazy lean shake. It was nothing but 21-day fix containers the whole entire time. And of course, Shakeology.
Wow, that's so awesome. I don't even know your transformation story originally. That's really cool. That's really, really cool. So was it like immediately then in that June period of time after your first results that you then were like, oh, I think I want to try this coaching thing? How did coaching come into the picture for you?
Well, at first, I obviously only joined as a coach under her because I'm like, I like drinking this Kool-Aid stuff and I don't want to pay for it. Maybe I can just, help a couple other people out. Maybe they'd want to join me. And then I started following the daily activities, and I started posting about it. For me, sharing with people about my life is always, I guess, would say easy for me because I'm a big talker. I'm an open book. I put everything out there, and I don't really care, kind of what comes back. If you don't like it, don't watch me, I guess is kind of where I've always been. So I do put it all out there. And I've never thought that, like, even you said in the beginning of this group, like, being an inspiration for somebody. I never think about that, but that's what I want to be, because I guess, other moms that are sitting at home struggling or having the same kind of problems, those are the kind of people that I like to help or whatever. So when I started losing weight and I was like, you know what, this is easier than eating Smart Ones or killing myself with running once a day and working out another time during the day. And I'm like, other moms could totally do this too. So that's why I just kind of started talking about it. And then the more I posted about it, the more I would get messages, and it just kind of started blowing up, and I started building those relationships. And honestly, it was really super easy. I was hitting SC10 every single month at least. There was times I was hitting in the beginning like SC24, 26. I think 28 was probably my highest. But it was easy, and all I was doing was sharing my journey. And granted, I did have a lot of weight loss to show, but I shared every single moment of it. I didn't shy away from when the scale would go the wrong direction, or and I guess that's kind of what I really want to talk about. Obviously, tonight is about struggles and stuff. I shared all of it. I shared all the bad stuff. And I think that is a big thing for everybody to think about is you can't always, talk about all the good things that are happening in your life. You have to be, like people say all the time, being your authentic self. sprinkle in those hard moments, because those are the people that you're going to touch their lives, is showing, your vulnerability. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm a mom, and I feel so much better when I see other moms who are sucking too. Like, if I see crap not going right in their life or whatever, I'm like, gosh, you know what? Either I don't have it that bad, I shouldn't complain that much, or, I feel better knowing that other people are stumbling and struggling as much as I am, and that, I'm not alone. And I think all moms and other people need to feel that too. So that's kind of why I dug into Beachbody and why I started sharing it, because I wanted other moms to have that good feeling inside of them, like seeing the weight loss and seeing the friendships that I was building through what I guess I was starting to build a business. I didn't really think about it as that in the moment, but I just wanted other people to feel that good fire and that good feeling that I was feeling inside.
That's awesome. It's really impressive to me that you had that grasp on share it all from the beginning, because I feel like a lot of places where newer coaches go wrong is they're like, okay, I have to have it all together. I have to look knowledgeable. I have to look like I have everything together so it attracts people. But in reality, that a lot of times turns people off because you look prideful and like a know-it-all and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's awesome that you knew that from the beginning. Okay, so you said, talking about struggles, kind of transitioning to that, you said you're open book. Can you fill us in kind of on what this past year has looked like for you?
Oh my goodness, hot mess, struggle bus. Aw, sweetie pie.
Hi. She's flying in. Good night.
Oh, so sad. Bailey's almost a year old, and I just can't take it. I see all these little itty babies, and I'm like, what happened to mine? Yeah, so like I said, struggle, it's been, to say a roller coaster would be even stating. My husband, we kind of started talking about moving to Ohio probably about, I don't know, a year and a half ago or so. And I was like, no, you're not moving to Ohio. I don't even know like where Ohio is on the map even. Like, honestly, I didn't even know where the heck Ohio was. But the company, the brothers that he works for as a dairy farmers, they wanted to put up a new dairy. And of course, all the brothers, they're close. They have their families kind of all together. And not that Brock's odd man out, but he kind of is. So it's kind of like who would move? And they had asked Brock. We talked about it. And with the girls' dad, I'm just like, this will never fly. Like, there's no way. So I kind of put that on back burner, and we didn't talk about it anymore for a while. Then he started bringing it up again, and I thought, okay, here I'm pregnant, and we're thinking about moving to Ohio. And I'm like, are we really gonna do this? Like, this is kind of crazy. So holidays are coming up. We're getting ready to have the baby. We have Bexley, and he's still bringing up Ohio, and dairy has been his whole life since he was really, really young. And to be married to someone who actually loves their job is really nice for once, because I've never had that before. And so prayed about it. Finally, I told him, I said, okay, let's go to Ohio. Let's see what this town is all about, whatever. So as we're getting ready to leave, I am struggling with I get postpartum depression. I could kind of feel depression coming on, but I would try to fight it off because I thought I was stronger than that. And not that depression is a terrible thing, but I don't like to be a failure at anything I do. And I just kept feeling like I couldn't hold my shit together. I had 4 kids. We were thinking about moving, worrying about the girls' real dad, what his feelings would be if we moved. Worrying about the girls' feelings with, I have a 15-year-old, so she's a sophomore. I moved when I was a junior in high school. I know how difficult that was for me, moving to a different town. My 10-year-old Braylon, she is a very sweet, sweet, sensitive girl, super close to her girlfriends. And of course, Kinsley, she could be friends with a bad guy down the street. So I didn't really have to worry about her at all. But so worrying about the transition, all these things, plus I've got, raging baby hormones too. So I just started not feeling well. And sadness, yeah, but I thought those were just maybe post baby blues, whatever. So I kept trying to hold it together. So I remember getting packed up for this trip. It was just my husband and the baby and I, and we have to drive to Denver. And it's about a 3.5-hour drive to the airport from where we're at in Kansas. And he had to pull over and stop several times to get me to like a restroom because I was literally physically ill. And I thought, why are we like even going to the airport? I don't even know if this is even going to go away. I still hadn't talked to a doctor about anything yet, but I was like physically ill. Even trying to get on the airplane, I didn't even know if I was gonna be able to get on the airplane. I'd never felt this before. Like my heart was racing. I thought maybe I was gonna have a heart attack, something like that. Anyway, we get on the plane. We get to Ohio. I'm still kind of a hot mess, but I'm trying to like push it down and like I'm fine, or maybe you're just sick, or something like that. So we start looking at houses, and I really did. Once we got to town, I kind of felt like a little bit of peace kind of come over me. By the time the trip was over, we were here for a few days. I felt very calm about it. Like maybe I could, see us here. So then I remember we were at this restaurant, and then he'd ask me like, well, what do you think? Because the whole time when we were, I'm like, well, you're not moving to Ohio. And then all of a sudden, like I said, I just kind of felt this peace come over me, and I said, okay, like, we can do this. So that was back in February. I still thought maybe we were going to have like a year and a half till we moved. And that got bumped up real quick. So beginning of February is when I said, okay, we'll move. And then it was just the next couple months we were putting the house up for sale, and we left in June. So February to June, packed everything up, drove clear across the country. I don't know. I think I saw Tammy yet. Tammy popped on here. She's one of my coaches and best friends. She came down, helped us pack up everything, drove with us clear across country, 1,200 miles. We left everything and everyone we know, and it was a big struggle. And before I'd left, I had talked to my doctor. I literally had a full-blown panic attack, never even knew what they were. I felt like I literally was having a heart attack. I went to the ER because I thought I was having a heart attack, and they told me everything was fine and it was a panic attack. So I don't know if it's just chemicals in my body, hormones, everything that's changed that had caused the anxiety and panic attacks, but I couldn't cope anymore. I couldn't take care of my baby. I didn't think I could take care of my baby. I was taking care of her fine, but you don't think you're doing a good job. I was catastrophizing everything. And so I talked to my doctor, and I finally did start taking a Zoloft. And I will tell you, I felt like a completely different person. Like, a few weeks later, like I'm able to cope with things. I'm able to handle stress better. And I just think it's something that I needed in my life, to help me get through this change in our life right now. So once we got to Ohio, then everything in the house, like we bought this house and everything's just been going to crap. The furnace went out, the water heater went out, we have a well, the well pump went out. I mean, it has been one thing after another, but I've shared it all. I've shared the whole shitstorm with everybody on Facebook. And going back, you will see I worked out every freaking day, no matter what. Tammy and I, on the way down here, when we were at the hotel, we were even working out. Like, I still make that the most important thing in my day, no matter how shitty everything's going. I'm still working out and I'm still sharing it.
Sorry, I forgot I muted. Yeah, so you have had chaos and more. Like, it's just been crazy, crazy, crazy. But you said you're still doing the things that you know you need to do. And I just, like, I know I can look at every single person, the picture here on the side of everybody that's on this call. And the thing about life is that everybody has their stuff, right? Like, we always think it's the worst for us, but really we look around and everybody has their stuff. And I want to know, if you can, like, can you put your finger on it? What is it that has helped you to keep going forward, to keep doing the things that you're doing? Because there's a difference in somebody who's living life and it's a struggle and they're just like, they can't do it. They can't do anything. And there's a difference between that and somebody who chooses to still do proactive things and to try to combat and fight and be the best them that they can be, even in the midst of the struggle. So, like, what is it for you that has helped you with that? Can you put a finger on that?
I probably can, like, everybody can say, like, you're a perfectionist, or you don't, like, I hate failing at anything. And I think that's kind of my drive, is that I know, I want to say I know people are watching, but I almost, maybe for everybody else, like, I don't want to let anybody down. So I know that I have to keep, moving forward, and showing people that anything is possible, no matter how crappy things are or what you're handed. That, if you keep doing the things you need to be doing that are, going to help you and your family, or more so yourself, that other people are going to see that, and then they're going to be like, you know what, I can do that too. And I just think that, I don't know, you just have to dig down deep inside yourself, and it's just about not giving up. My gosh, there are so many times I've wanted to throw in the towel and be like, forget this, I'm over it, I don't want to do coaching anymore. I'm honestly in that slump right now, where I have days where I'm like, is it even worth it anymore? Like, why am I even doing this? And then it's this is it, is because a Facebook, like your time hopper on this day will pop up every day, and I'll look at it and I'll see where I was last year at this time and be like, this is why you haven't quit. This is why you keep doing things, is because those people are watching you. They are counting on you, and you've done it before, and you'll do it again. Oh, I think you're still on mute. I don't hear you.
Dang it. Got it. Okay, let me try that
but
again.
I think I can pinpoint, like, the one thing. I just think it's that I know I have to be there, not only for myself, but for others.
And there's, like, we have that within us. There's a reason we go through the things we go through. And it's not just to better ourselves. Like, it's, yes, we come out on the end and we're stronger because of what we go through. But if we just keep that to ourselves, like, yeah, that makes us a little bit stronger. But exactly what you said, like, there are people watching, and we have that opportunity to share those highs and those lows and the reality of life, that it's not easy for everybody. It's not easy for anybody.
People that out to me, like, when I share about PCOS, or I share about my struggle with, whatever weight issue, that I have, or whatever. you would just be blown away at how many messages I use. Well, not currently, I haven't really, because I'm not really sure why, but my messages would just like blow up with women saying, oh my gosh, I totally relate to this, or this happened to me, or whatever. And sometimes I feel like maybe my purpose in this world is that my struggles are for someone else. Like how I get through something, because I am so open and I do share it, is for someone else that maybe can't do it for themselves, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that makes total sense. And I know all of us on this call right now are people of faith too. And like that, getting the opportunity to allow a platform that we've been given with coaching to also help us do life together and be that empowerment that other people need, while still allowing grace for ourselves, right? Because that has to play a big role. There's a balance of that. And yes, we have to press forward and we have to do what we can, but we also have to cut ourselves some slack at times too. I love that, Megan. I think that's something that we can, each of us, relate to. And I think every single one of us have had moments where we've gone, should we keep doing this? Like, because we have to take moments in our lives to reevaluate and go, is this still the thing that I'm called to do? But I think that that's very, just a good gut check kind of thing to see those opportunities for speaking into. Oh, bye, Jill. Speaking into the lives of other people, like that, there's always that piece that's worth it. I think for people like us who started with that sole purpose of wanting to help others, Mm-hmm. Okay, so knowing that lots of people on our teams are all struggling, what is like one word of encouragement that you have for us going forward, trying to continue to press forward through the struggles that we each individually have?
I just think that no matter what, like no matter how hard anything gets, if you need to take the day, disconnect, don't think about it, handle, whatever you need to be doing, whether it's, just being with your family or whatever it is, and then come back tomorrow and just go back to what you know. So posting daily. And I definitely think that sharing your struggle, like I was going to tell you guys, like I would love for all of you to think about today, like right now, what is the one thing that you struggled with today? And the one like really great thing that happened to you today. Those are like two things right there that you can share with other people. So, whether it's a momming thing or, a relationship thing, or, it could be something super big or super simple, but I would love to see all of you share on your page about that struggle. And even if it's something like way bigger, maybe you can just like sprinkle in a little bit, but I think you would all be surprised at who you may touch. And then, like a week from now, go back and keep sharing, I guess that's pretty much what I'm, just share the hard stuff. Like people don't want to see you being like a perfect little person who eats perfect every single day and who works out perfectly every single day. And I guess I just would like to see everybody share more, I guess, personal struggle, I think, because that engages other people and lets them know that you are real.
Yeah, that's good. Is that our call to action?
Yes.
Okay. That's awesome. So can I push one? I didn't tell you this question ahead of time, but just through talking, it's kind of going through my head. For those who are not as comfortable with like vulnerably putting it out there, what would you suggest for like a starting point with that? What would be a good way to begin doing that?
I think that kind of goes into just the little sprinkling of things. Like maybe you could start it like, hey, have you ever dealt with, and then just say something like, all the things that are going through my head are a little too, well, I guess kind of like my post the other day. It honestly started. Don't even go to like your Facebook page. Just go into your computer or the notes on your phone and just start writing about anything that's on your heart. Like go to that struggle and just start writing about it. This is how I do a lot of my posts. And then I just honestly start word vomiting on a page, and just like all these feelings and all this stuff comes out of me. And then I go in and I will take little snippets of it, and that's what I will like use in a post, hoping that, you know, someone will connect to what I'm trying to say or relate to it. So I guess I think that would be a really good starting place, and I think it'd be very therapeutic for, you know, people who are having struggles too, is even if you just want to handwrite it all down, just like open your heart to just yourself and just start spewing it out on paper or in the notes of your phone or wherever it is, and then go back and look at it and be like, what part of this can I share that I feel comfortable with? And granted, for me, like I've always said, I'm a huge open book. I kind of just lay it all out there. So I think it's hard for me to be like, I guess not to know.
No, I think
Like
that's good, Megan.
but I
I
think if
think
you do take a little snippet of it and just kind of start from there, and then you'll be surprised. I think then you'll see kind of a little bit of interaction with people, and then you can, you know, the next time you share a little bit more and a little bit more, and then see where that goes.
yeah, I think that's really good. I think that's a great starting place. And the important thing, correct me if I'm wrong, like what I'm reading here, it's good to share the struggle, but also like make sure that you're not just woe is meing it. Like have
Yeah.
something proactive that's value adding to people as well, because people don't want to just like hear like, oh, my life is so awful, you know, just that part of it. So journaling it, getting it out, and taking those pieces and then thinking about how you can add value through that. I think that is such a good starting place. Like I want to go do that. I want to go journal and write it down, because I tend to be the kind of person that I'm a perfectionist. Like I always say I'm a recovering perfectionist, constantly recovering. And putting it out there that I struggle with specific things, like that's really hard for me, like vulnerably, like openly sharing that stuff, but making sure that I spin it in a way that, yes, I'm struggling with it, but I'm not allowing myself to sit stagnant there. And that's the piece where that inspiration comes in for people. So,
Well, and I think too, just like, you know, how we have dream boards, or, you know, you sit down and you write what your goals are. It shouldn't be any different. Like sit down and write what your struggles are, and you know, you share what your goals are, or you know what your dreams are, but share the struggles too. So if I think, you know, like you write that stuff down, like your goals, then usually that's kind of what happens, or you get close to that or whatever. So I think if you did the same thing with your struggles like you do your goals, that, you know, it can be very therapeutic too.
yeah, and then that allows you to really, if you have it written down on paper, like every time we say we write things down on paper, they become more real for us. What is it, like Shalene says, that versus working off of your phone, like actually writing something out makes it, speaks life to it, and it stays in your mind. And so we can then take that and apply whatever kind of goal setting we need to that, to try to, for ourselves, work through that more, and then use that to share with people as well. So that's good stuff.
Well, and I think the thing is too, is just like actually like taking the 5 minutes to sit down and actually do it. Like, oh, you're like, oh yeah, I have struggles, I have problems, but like be real with yourself, like really do it.
Mm-hmm. And that's, I think a lot of our speakers on the National Wake Up Call recently have been talking about pain points, because that's where we like really draw that vulnerable connection with people, and putting pen and paper to that and knowing that about yourself. Like, it takes, for me, like I'm 3.5 years into this, and I feel like coaching for me has been such a like finding myself journey. It's made me delve into those deep, dark places of struggle, and also like really putting pen to paper about what my strengths are, like figuring myself out. And I think that this is a good way to connect with people with those pain points. And also for ourselves, just personally, not even coaching related, like figure out our stuff. So figure out
Yeah.
who we are. So that's great.
Yeah, I definitely, before Beachbody, would not have been talking about this stuff or posting about it. That's for sure.
Right. So that, like, I'm gonna go all national wake up call on you here, Megan. But before, you've shared like what life was like for you before Beachbody, and obviously you've shared that you're sticking with it and you're here, and this is something that is important to you and that you're going to continue to do. Why has this, like, how has this impacted your life beyond just the health transformation? Like, what part of this has really changed things for you?
I think, like, for my kids too, like, I obviously, if you watch my posts, you see that I involve them in working out, and like, they get excited about drinking Daily Sunshine, or like Kinsley and her Shakeology, and like, it's a big thing for them. And I think, like, that to me is probably the most rewarding out of this whole experience with Beachbody, is that, like, today I was literally sitting there on my butt on the couch, and I looked down, and Kinsley is doing sit-ups, and I was almost like teary-eyed, and I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, counting my sit-ups. And she's like, I mean, she's got pretty good form, this girl. And I'm like, you know what, that right there, like, that's why I do this, is because I don't want my kids to have same struggle as I've had. And I want them to know how important it is to, take care of their bodies, not just for a little bit of time, but all the time.
Good. That's awesome. Yeah,
So that felt worth it for me, for sure.
I always love your videos with Kinsley and her Chocology.
Oh,
she calls them all vegan chocolate, right?
Yeah, she could outsell any coach in the whole business, guaranteed.
That's awesome. Second she's 18, that girl's signing up.
Yeah. Move over, Autumn. Well, that's her other, is like, when I'm doing my workouts or whatever, she's like, do it like this, mommy. Like she said to do it, get down. No, put your butt down. Like, she'll like, like, okay, miss.
Awesome. I hope I get to meet her in real life someday, because I feel like I know her already, but
she's a character for sure.
Well, thank you for sharing with us. Do you guys, any of you on here, have questions for Megan?
I don't have any questions, but I wanted to thank you for coming and sharing your story. Yeah. So good to hear from other people, because we do all have our struggles. So it's good to hear other people's stories and how they deal with it versus, we get stuck in our own little daily grind. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, and I think the big thing, like, I'm not even signed up for this yet. I haven't figured out my strategy for it, but we have the November to Remember challenge. We have to sign up by November 6th, something like that.
I think so.
Yeah, so just have that on your radar. And the All Access Pass Challenge Pack is staying on through, with that 160 price, through the end of the year, which is still like the best thing that we can offer. So that is all I have for tonight. Do you have anything, Emily?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, thank you, Megan. You're awesome. We appreciate you.
All right.
And safe travels and packing, Melissa. All right. See you
Bye,
guys later. Have a good night.
You too.
Good night, Megan.
Bye.
Bye.